As the leader of the Booner Pad, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff and Booner. It's Tuesday, October 21st. It's Victory Tuesday. All right, we are back. We are fired up. The Lions beat the Buccaneers. A lot of things happening today as well. We got NBA opening nights. Pistons play Wednesday. We'll be at the game Sunday. Lions win. They beat the Bucks at home. Great day for sports. I know it's a bye week, which we have tons of things to get to this week. Guests coming on. Well, let's make it a good bye week, man. How you doing, Luke?
Hey, doing well. Victory Tuesday. Victory, baby. Come on.
I've had 5 of these already. 5.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have 5 Kool-Aid chugs, 5 Victory Mondays, Tuesdays. This football team's the best team in the NFL. I had a lot of people in our comments. I said it in the Kool-Aid video that I don't think when this team is healthy, which right now they're not healthy, when they are healthy, they're the best football team in the NFL. I think even today, not healthy, they're the best football team in the NFL. So yesterday kind of showed that. They dominated yesterday. And you know what's crazy? They did it without with their offense playing is the worst they've probably played in a while. So I'm fired up though to talk about it. A lot of things happening today. I thought the Wings played today. They did not play, by the way. It's on me.
Yeah, the Wings have been looking good.
They've looked good.
Yeah. Gentry, usually me and him have some banter. I got to give him credit. They look really good.
Yeah.
And hopefully the Pistons do the same. We'll
Pistons
find out
tomorrow. We'll get Pistons basketball tomorrow.
Yep.
Guess who's out? Already official. Guess who's out? Jay and Ivy. Remember a couple weeks. Yeah, but still.
Oh, there was someone else. I was like, wait, who?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Well, I will say for people yesterday that watched that game, and I know there's a lot of things to critique or find reasons to point out flaws in the Lions, and that's what good teams do. You know, when your team's as good. I mean, we're at a point now with the Lions where they're so good that when they win, it's like everyone just wants to point to what happened wrong rather than we'll point out what happened right. Because this fan base is a little spoiled, and other fan bases are just like it. So it's not just the Lions thing. The Eagles do it. The Chiefs do it. I'm sure the Bills do it. A lot of fan bases do this type of stuff where, you're just going to nitpick. The offense, like you said, did not play well. They did not. But guess what? Which we'll talk about the offense. We'll talk about that defense as well. But you'll take a win by 2 scores against a team that was top in the NFC. I don't care. You talk about the injuries of the wide receiver core. They had Mike Evans and Ibuka play. Mike Evans left due to an injury. But we saw that same wide receiver core last week against the 49ers ball out.
Yeah.
Like they had Cam Johnson and Tez Johnson, Cade Otton. They didn't have Bucky Irving, and they put up almost 30 points. And you had a Lions secondary that was hindered, damaged, and the defense played lights out. So I think it's a great win. We knew this Bucs team. I mean, we knew this. We said it before. I mean, we didn't think the offense would look like that. But we did mention last week, we're like, the offense is going to have to win this game, but it's not going to be – we know how these type of games go with the Bucs. They're usually kind of uglier. Maybe we didn't think the offense would struggle like that at times. But
yeah, I think
these games go with the Bucs. Usually they're kind of
for sure. I mean, even the last 2 weeks, I said it today when I was on a little bit, like the last 2 weeks just offensively didn't feel like the Lions offense that you're used to. But that doesn't mean that's what this offense is all about. You still have all the weapons. You still have everything. And then what I've told people a lot, I know we're going to get into offense a little later in the show, but the one thing I think Lions fans can take a positive to, and this is something, Jeff, you and I talked about going into the season with John Morton, and I know there's a lot of people questioning his play calling and different things. The one thing that we talked about going into the season was, hey, he gets to week 7, right? And then at that point, you got to have your offense humming. I think it kind of changes a little bit the fact of outside of week 1 and then his last 2 weeks, that week 2 to week 5-ish, that kind of span there, they looked really good. And John Morton was very good play calling. Everyone was getting involved. Everything looked good. So you've already got to see how good they can be, on both sides of the ball. It's just about, I think, from when you get back in week 9 through week 18, right? Like that kind of span of football there. That's when you need to hopefully, hey, how do we figure out to put a full game together? And if you could do that into the playoffs, this team is a Super Bowl. Like they will win a Super Bowl. If they're able to put together this defense like they did last night and this offense like they did a couple weeks ago, that's the best team in football, and no one will be able to beat you. So I think that's something like fans can take a little bit of a positive from with that. And the fact that they played that is what they did offensively, and we're still able to come out on top, and not even just like a 3-point game, a field goal game, a touchdown game. Like that was a multiple possession game that the whole game they were winning by multiple possessions. I don't think there was a time where I was like concerned, oh, they're going to lose this game.
Yeah, I
don't know if it was for you. It never popped up in my head after the first possession. When it was 7-0, I was like, hey, this game's over.
Well,
it's crazy as it sounds.
They were in control of that game. The defense didn't allow them to do really anything. I mean, they just did it. I see Luke Richards. What's up going on, bro? Appreciate you tuning in, by the way. He asked about JMO. We'll talk about JMO later. Don't worry. We have a whole segment with that. Demo 2. We'll talk about Dave Montgomery. Mr. Thomas says Tampa Bay will not be in the championship game. The Rams will. Where are you at with the Bucs in terms of just like as a team, legitimacy? Because I know probably their fan base is going, what the hell just happened? For sure.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I still think the Bucs is the second best team in the NFC when healthy. And listen, I had comments today when I was doing the show today too, where there was a lot of people, or there was a couple people, not a lot, but there was a few people who were doing the whole, well, you beat a beat-up Bucs team, right? Like an injured Bucs team. All right, I'm sorry to inform you. The Lions are beat up. The Bucs are beat up. The Eagles are beat up. The Rams are without their wide receiver one. Like I could keep the Packers are beat up. Like every team right now in the NFL is beat up to a certain degree, right? So it's like any week you play anyone, whether they're a great team or a bad team, they're probably beat up and they're missing players, right? Like that's the NFL. That's how this thing works. And I don't know, it feels like this year, Jeff, a little more so. It feels like the NFL is a little bit more beat up than it's been in the past. Like, and that's why I think it feels more wide open, and there's been no like teams to themselves because there's just been so many injuries this year. So I don't know. I still think the Bucs are probably one of the teams to beat in the NFC. I think there's literally 4 teams in the NFC that are contenders to win it. I think it's the Lions at 1, and we could do the rest in no particular order. But the Bucs, Rams, and Eagles. Like I think those are the 4, and I probably tier. Right now, like I think the Lions are better than those other 3 teams. I really do, even with injuries.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with your tier. I think those are the 4 teams I would put in there too. I'm sorry, I can't do the Packers, and we'll see later. We have our top 10 Tuesday today, so we'll get to our top 10 teams. But yeah, the Packers. I know I didn't have them on my top 10 list last week. You'll see if they make it this week. I think they're a good team. I just don't think the Packers are a great team. I don't see that. I know they beat the Lions, but I don't look at head-to-heads as much as. Head-to-heads do matter a little bit, but you can't, like, for example, the Packers dominated the Lions. That doesn't tell the full story, man.
I think they do.
They got to show me more.
What's that word? What's the word? They doing like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a little prism. I don't know. That's not the word, but like in a little scope. Like last week, I know like the argument I was making with you where we kind of disagree. Like I think if you play a team that week, and it's like, this is you right now, and you lose to them.
In a vacuum? Like that?
In a vacuum, yes. Like last week with the Chiefs and Lions, like Lions and Chiefs just played each other. That was why I put the Chiefs above the Lions. They literally just went head-to-head. The Packers and Lions went head-to-head 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago. So it's like, no, like so many things could be different, especially at the beginning of the season. And so it's like this week, it's the same thing. Like Lions and Bucs just went head-to-head. They both had injuries. I had the Bucs as the number 1 team in football last week. Guess where I might have the Lions, just because the Lions just beat the Bucs.
You just beat the number 1 team. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And you were already as a top 5 team, so it's like it's pretty self-explanatory at that point. But that's how I do look at it if there is head-to-heads. But like the next week, I take the head-to-head away. Like I take it away instantly. It's a week-to-week game.
Well, I saw Crazy Clown just put it was also 2 rookie guards first NFL game. I'm not worried about that. Well, second for Chris Mahogany, but yeah, basically, I mean, there's a lot of context in there.
It was Johnny Morton. Like
yeah, it was a lot of things. Like they got the Lions. It was a perfect storm for the Packers. That Thanksgiving game will be a lot different. I'm not saying they're going to blow out the Packers. I think it'll be a good game, but I think the Lions win that game.
We got to make sure you are not in attendance. I know you won't be. But I remember I have my brain is scarred from a couple years ago when I was begging you we were doing a stream at Woodward for Thanksgiving, and it was me and D-Mac. No one else came. And D-Mac brought pumpkin pie with whipped cream, and I brought like I can't remember. I brought some type of Thanksgiving dish. Well, D-Mac brought like 4 pumpkin pies. And it was just me, him, and some people I think from Roast. And I think it was just us 2, to be honest. And we just sat there and ate food when the Lions lost. And you I was trying to get you to come to the stream. You're like, I'm going to the game. And we lost because of you.
Yeah, but Jordan Love actually, I think, had his best game.
Yeah, no, he did.
And
but that was such a good hey, I just ate pumpkin pie for 3 hours, like 10 slices, me and D-Mac together with probably 6 gallons of whipped cream. It was good Thanksgiving.
I did get the confirmation that it is just a me thing, not a Pops thing. Pops was there last night at the game.
All right.
So Pops, he's good.
Did you talk to him today?
I did. Yeah. He was,
what did he say? Was he out there? Did he say he was out there screaming on third down?
Yeah. He said he's more of the he's not the guy. He's not a guy you want in the first row. He's not bringing the energy.
You want him in the upper level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not the guy. Like, you'd be in the first row for sure.
For sure. I would love to. That reminds me, Pistons game Sunday. I have one request for our tickets. We need to get tickets. We talked about this last year when we went to the Pistons game. This isn't like a diva move. We can't be in the upper bowl this year. We talked about it last year. When we were all sitting up there. Me and Klotz looked at each other, and I think I remember the conversation very vividly. Me and Klotz looked at each other. We said, we could never have Jeff buy tickets again. We were like, it was something else, dude. That's not a diva move either. I respect anyone in the nosebleeds. I've been in the nosebleeds a lot. I want to. You barely could see the game. You can't see the game, dude. You can't.
You don't know grit, man.
No, it's grit, dude. Listen, I've spent my whole life being in the nosebleed seats, dude. It's just like, I think it's just, there's 5 of us going.
We're buying a whole company tickets here.
There's 5 of us. We have 5 in the company. We can easily get 5 lower levels.
Well, yeah. You know what?
I might look it up now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find a deal. I'm gonna hit. We're gonna do something here.
Someone that works for the Pistons, hook the boys up, man.
Yeah. Oh, we actually. Yeah.
Let's just do that. How about that? You know what? How about that?
I just thought of something. I think maybe you thought of the same thing, of a connection. Boom, boom.
You know what? Let's work those connections.
Wait, Jay Hart. He said 119 or one. I used to have season tickets in section 119. I think.
Good seats. Very
Yeah.
good seats.
You used to go. Yeah. Shout out.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Dan Campbell did speak to the media today. Talked about Taylor Decker. Mentioned Taylor Decker. So let's hear from Dan on this. By the way, actually, before we do that, can I just show this? Lions are favorites to win the NFC.
Dude, they're second to win the Super Bowl all of a sudden. Can we play this game? This is like our new Tuesday, Monday game. So you see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to guess who the top 5 Super Bowl favorites are.
Okay. Number 1, Chiefs.
Spot on. What do you think the odds are?
2? Oh, plus what the Lions are probably, I'll say plus 500.
Right on. Do you have it up?
No. I'm good at
wow,
these.
Dude. That's a little snap like that, man. Who's number 2?
Second,
okay, yep. What are odds?
plus 800. 900.
700.
All right, third, I will say, fuck, that third one's going to be tough. I mean, I would say, I guess I'll go with the Eagles.
No. Well, put context clues, Jeff. Look at the NFC.
Packers, man.
But no, it's not the Packers, though. But I'm just saying, for when you're ranking the NFC, you went Eagles before Packers. You got to go context with that. But it's not. The next one is AFC.
Oh, got it. Bills.
Plus 700. We're tied with the Lions.
Are the Packers behind them?
Packers, Eagles.
I hate that, by the way. That's ridiculous.
The Packers, the Packers, the Eagles, and then who do you think is technically it'd be 5th because the Lions and Bills are tied.
They got to have the Rams.
No.
Dude.
Well, actually, the Rams are tied with this team. They're actually tied. So yes, technically the Rams.
Is it an NFC team?
No.
Oh, what? Why am I AFC?
It's actually kind of sick to see this.
I'm trying to think of good. Colts. They're 6-1. That's insane. Wow, Colts
Colts.
fans are probably fired up about that.
Oh, dude, they have such a good team though. I like their team's actually like that's a legit. Have you watched the Colts yet?
I watched
their
not this
defense.
week. I didn't watch this week, but I watched against the.
Daniel Jones is this is all I said in the offseason. That's literally all I said in the offseason is Daniel Jones was just in a bad organization with the bad everything. Like they had nothing. All he had was Malik Neighbors. Daniel Jones, like skill-wise, the man can run, he can throw,
Yep.
and it's like if you put him in a right scheme and help him make decisions and not put too much on his plate, he's going to be very good. And that's what they've done in Indy. And they've given him a run game because remember, he had Saquon. You give him Jonathan Taylor, he knows what a running back, and then he just has Tyler Warren, Pittman. He has so many weapons. A.D. Mitchell, like he's got everyone. Alec Pierce.
Josh Downs. I mean, he's got
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he just has an elite defense. They just have a very good. Their defense is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They just know how it works. That's
Jonathan Taylor's having a year. I have him in fantasy. Thank gosh. Man.
Can we do one more thing too? I know we have things to get to here.
Yeah.
Can we do this? The awards, like who we think.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to. We've got who
let me
MVP
hear that.
favorite. Who do you think? Top three. Let's do top three.
MVP. I'll say okay. Top three. Mahomes.
Number one plus 125. So right now people wrote they like heavy
Easy.
favorite.
Yeah. They're Josh Allen.
Yep.
And then I'll say Baker Mayfield. No, he can't be it. No, he never.
I'll say Baker dropped to fourth. He was the favorite. He was a third. He just dropped to fourth. This one's a shocker. And if you need a hint, I can give you a hint.
AFC. Just give me conference.
AFC.
Don't say Daniel Jones.
No.
Okay. AFC. I don't know. Give me another hint.
Another hint.
I'm blanking on this one.
Another hint. Plays in the same conference as either Mahomes or Allen. Or
Drake
division,
May.
I mean. Drake May. Third.
He's up there in MVP.
Third. Plus 700 too. It's not like he's like plus 1200, plus 1800.
Holy shit.
Plus 700.
He is balling. I mean,
They're 5-2, and he's been playing well. And then it goes Baker, Stafford, and then Jared Goff is 6. So Jared's right there. Still.
Yeah, Drake May hasn't thrown a pick, dude, in like 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I mean, he's on a tear, dude.
Offensive player of the year. Do you want me to just tell you them, or do you want to?
I know Jonathan Taylor.
JT, yep.
Puka Nacua.
No, he's fourth.
Oh.
Or fifth. He's fifth. I'm sorry, he's fifth. Because he's injured, so he's probably it's tough for him to get it. There's one player that has like 200 more yards. McCaffrey's third. There's a player number 2 who has about 200 more yards than Puka.
Oh, JSN.
Mm-hmm. Incredible too. I watched him last night. He was incredible, dude. JSN is so good. And then Bijan's fourth.
He might get like 1,800 yards, bro.
For sure, yeah. Dude, I was actually thinking about it today with Amon-Ra because I was like, how can Amon-Ra be first team All-Pro again for a third straight year? You really have like Puka's right there, JSN, and then it's like, I guess it's to me, it just always depends on like, do you want to do yards, catches, touchdowns? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Jamar Chase is second in the NFL in yards still. Puka's third. George Pickens fourth. But Amon-Ra has 7 touchdowns and leads all receivers.
He's probably if he gets like 1,500 yards, 1,500 yards and like double-digit touchdowns, I can't see why he wouldn't get something.
Yeah, he's fit. He's top 5 in yards, catches, and number 1 in touchdowns. So,
and he'll have the catches for sure. Touchdowns,
dude,
I think he'll have.
There's a tight end that's 4th in the NFL in catches right now, where Jamar Chase leads the league in 58.
Jake Ferguson.
Yes, he has 51. Hell of a year for him.
I saw a stat from Jake Ferguson. Someone posted it. The only reason why I know that is because I saw it on Twitter. Like a Cowboys fan was like, "This is sick," and it was like Jake Ferguson's stats, and it was like top in catches, top in touchdowns, but like 30 something in yards. He has like a bunch of catches for no yards and a bunch of touchdowns.
I think he broke tight end record for like the most catches and also most touchdowns through like 7 games in NFL history or something. Like he's actually
barely have any yards, but he'll get touchdowns and catches.
Having a career year though. It's good for him. What about defensive player of the year?
Well, after the game I watched this weekend, Aiden obviously
he's 2.
Micah.
Micah's 1.
He
had 3.
dude,
He won them the game single-handedly.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
The other one I would say, Myles Garrett's got to be up there.
4th. You're missing 3. You know 3. We talked about him, actually. You and I did.
TJ Watt? Oh, Nick Benito.
Yeah, Nick Benito.
Yeah, I forget he leads.
Will Anderson's up there. Will Anderson had just had a strip sack and scored a touchdown in the end zone yesterday. That was incredible.
Yeah, Micah had 3 sacks against the Cardinals.
Guess who the defensive rookie of the year leader is right now? This will make people mad. Detroit Lions fans mad. Detroit Lions fans will be mad about this one for sure.
It's got to be an edge.
Someone we passed on.
Not James Pierce. No, he ain't having a good year.
I believe we passed on him, actually.
Who is it?
Wrong. Jahad Campbell.
Oh, dude, he is balling.
Yeah, passed on him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about all of them. I mean, there's Coach of the Year. There's, yeah.
Damn.
Shane Steichen's probably going to win Coach of the Year. Or Vrabel.
Yeah, Jahad is playing he's playing pretty well. He's playing really well.
Yeah, I just even if you would have drafted him, I was thinking that in Detroit, where would he have a fit with Derek Barnes too?
It's tough, yeah.
So he probably wouldn't. He would have played for sure, but would he have been getting the opportunities? Because
he would be Anzo's replacement.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But this year he wouldn't have gotten as much,
No, he wouldn't have
run as he would have in Philly, because Philly they desperately actually need edge rushers and they need linebackers and Sam and they needed that.
Yeah,
that's why it's a little different.
Which would be nasty. Jahad, Campbell, and Barnes. It's like Campbell and Campbell law firm. It's like Campbell and Campbell. Those two next to each other would be nasty.
They might draft I don't know if maybe they will draft another linebacker this year in the first round.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, what are they going to do?
How about this? Good transition. What about left tackle? Or what about not left? What about tackle? Because Penny is going to be your left tackle. But a tackle. Dan talked about Taylor Decker today, his injury, because he looked banged up at the end of the Bucks game. I know people were watching that game. Here's Dan Campbell on Taylor Decker. What's going on with him?
I think, look, man, he's a perfectionist. He's a prideful guy, and he wants to know he can play his best kind of football. And it can get frustrating when you're not 100%. And so I understand what that is, but and like I tell him, man, you help us though, you elevate us, and I just appreciate the fact he's out there trying to get it done, and hopefully we can get it to calm down. And good news is I think there's still some strength in it, but the guy's a stud, man. He is. I think, look, man, he's a.
All right, yeah. We kind of talked about this. Yeah, I wouldn't have minded if he missed yesterday. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think they would have won that game even without him.
Klotz was a little hesitant about if they didn't have Taylor, they would have lost with Skip. And they would have won that game. You could have got by.
I mean, they gave up 4 sacks. I mean, it's like
they did give up 9 quarterback hits, which is not good.
And they still won. I mean, he just doesn't look healthy. He doesn't look healthy. You can see it. And I know Dan, it's kind of ironic because Dan's the one that mentioned last week about Kirby. If he's not up to Kirby standards, or at least close to, and you're better off playing someone behind him, then we have to really think about not playing him. I feel like that was kind of the case with Decker. He didn't look like Taylor Decker yesterday. It looks like he's still kind of dealing with a little bit of pain. So I thought that was a little interesting with Taylor Decker. I don't know. I'm glad the bye week's here. It's going to give him some time.
I have something. Why not just sit Taylor Decker the next 3 weeks and just let him sit? Because you have bye week, you have Vikings, which you should be able to get by, in my opinion, and try and win. And then 3, you also have Commanders, where I think all 3 of those, you could find a way to win those games. Now, when the 4th game, obviously the Eagles, you want to be at full force, but you don't want Taylor Decker to come back a week early next week. This is my opinion. You don't want him to come back a week early next week, get banged up versus the Commanders or versus the Vikings, one of those 2 games. And then in Philadelphia, you're going on the road to Philadelphia and you need him, and he's not fully healthy and his shoulder is a little torn up. I would rather have him fully healthy versus Philly and then that final run than the next 2 weeks. So I say just, hey, let him sit. Let Dan Skipper go. I will say this too, and I think we need to start having trade talk conversations. Go out there, and listen, we're talking about like, hey, who are trade pieces that you can actually go look into when you come back from the bye week, or November 4th, I believe is the trade deadline, Jeff. Obviously, edge rusher has already been reported that's what they're looking for. I think you need to add a tackle to that, and not a starting caliber, not a guy that's, hey, this guy's a Pro Bowl. No, go get a guy that's maybe a little bit better than Dan Skipper, to where if something does happen to Decker long term, you have an offensive tackle that can step in, and if you need to move Pineda left, you have someone you could throw at right tackle that can actually win you a playoff game. And if you somehow, knock on wood, don't have Taylor Decker for the long term, you have to have a backup plan. And I think that should be priority number one. I know edge rusher's there, but you have Davenport coming back. You have to make sure you have a backup tackle. Like, you have someone that's competent that could help win a Super Bowl if needed. Right now, I'm not that confident that like a Skip can. Like a Super Bowl, we're talking about like February.
Yeah.
You need to have a backup plan. You can't sign a practice squad guy and plug and play when it comes playoffs with the tackle. Cannot.
Keys to Wisdom says Lions do not want teams game planning against Skipper and Manu, but they do need a vet OT at the deadline for a late round pick. If Sewell went down, we would die right now. Need a real offensive tackle. Now, here's the thing, though. Like, I get in theory what you're saying, Keys to Wisdom, but if it's hard to go get a tackle, it just is. I'm not saying what you're saying.
But again, not a starter, but like just like a guy, right?
Yeah.
Like there are guys out there who you could be like, hey, I mean, the Vikings did it last year. The Vikings went out and got actually a starting caliber tackle. Like
Jawan Taylor, I think.
Yeah, you can do it.
Who'd they get? They got some other tackle. Yeah, they got. I forgot his name.
So it happens at the deadline, but you have to do it. Like, I think it's in my opinion that an offensive tackle is a must at the deadline. You have to.
Yeah, by the way, I checked the grades.
Well, he was the fourth. He was the fourth highest. I think fourth highest graded.
Yeah. Okay.
Offensive player.
Here's by the way, we have to be consistent because we use PFF a lot, so we have to go off of this. They're saying that Taylor Decker had the best pass blocking grade. He had
how many pressures did he give up?
One hurry, one pressure.
He might have been better than we all think.
But here's the thing.
I need to go back and watch that film.
Cam Robinson. Thanks for that, Steve.
There.
But then you watch, he gave up the strip sack to Yaya Diaby. He gave up that strip sack on Yaya Diaby.
That might have been the one. Okay, I actually had the comment last night in the post game where I do feel like with a guy like Taylor Decker, is he could have a great game all along, but he is at the point to where a lot of people do like to go at him and use him as a scapegoat to where he has one bad play in a game. Like, and I said Klotz's name straight up. I was like, literally, Taylor Decker could have a perfect game for, essentially 59 minutes. And then a 1 minute and one snap, he gives up a strip sack. And it's Taylor Decker has the worst game of all time. He's the worst. Let's trade him or cut him. You know what I mean? So I think that's where people are like, I don't know. Like, maybe I have to go back and watch the game and just specifically watch Taylor Decker to see. I didn't think it was and you could tell, like, he's holding his shoulder half of the game. Like,
yeah, he didn't.
You could tell he was going through it, but he only gave up one pressure and one sack.
Let's bring in our good friend here to chat about it. Kory Woods,
go.
The Detroit Lions for MLive.com. Not on the Pistons this year, but he's doing great stuff with the Lions as always. Joins us pretty often. He's a great guest. Our good friend, Mr. Kory Woods. Kory, how are we doing, my friend?
Yo, what's
By
good?
the way, no hours of sleep for Kory. He has not slept yet. He is.
It's about to be the sleep game as soon as I get off of here for sure.
Kory, let me ask you then, just thoughts on the Taylor Decker kind of situation. You were there, you get to kind of see him in action. You had probably a better view of how he kind of looked, but he just didn't look relatively healthy. What has been kind of your thoughts on him battling through that shoulder injury and how important this bye week is for him to get back a little healthier?
I mean, Taylor Decker is a warrior. You already heard Dan Campbell talk about it throughout the weeks that they didn't have him, that they were getting diminishing returns on that shoulder. And you also have to factor this in, that even when Taylor Decker was playing, he had not practiced since week 1. So the fact that I thought that honestly they were going to keep him out throughout the bye week. That was my kind of line of thinking, because it's just like, okay, if you're saying you're getting diminishing returns, meaning I think the shoulder is not getting any better. Just go ahead and rest him up through the bye week and, see what happens from there. But he went ahead and played, and, he did. Of course, the pass protection last night for Jared Goff was less than ideal, but you got to go ahead and give the guy credit. He's been a part of this organization when it was during its down days, and right now they're on a wave of winning, something he had not experienced for a majority of his career in Detroit. So you can't blame him for wanted to get out there and suit up and give it a go.
Yeah, Kory, I do want to ask you, just kind of even just sticking on this offense with Taylor Decker. Offense as a whole, the last 2 weeks, obviously last week versus the Chiefs, there was a little bit moments where they were, didn't look like the Lions offense. And then yesterday, 3 punts in the fourth quarter. And, offensively, you could tell they were still trying to figure things out here. What's your confidence level on them kind of turning this thing around after the bye week when it comes to the offense? Because it feels like the defense, especially yesterday, was keeping them in this thing and why they essentially won that game.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. So first off, yes, John Morton was here in 2022. He was a part of that Campbell staff, but I'm going to come back to that because I'm making a point with this. The defense looks good because they have continuity. Kelvin Sheppard has been in that building the entire time with this staff. Those guys know him. They're familiar with him. So him taking the DC role after Aaron Glenn was a natural changing of the guard. As much as John Morton has been around the NFL, been around the league, he's been an offensive coordinator before, he's been a passing game coordinator, he has not had an offense this powerful and him having the keys to it. And I know that there are people who are like, okay, it didn't look like how it looked last year with Ben Johnson. Well, you got to remember, this offense didn't initially look how it looked with Ben Johnson. He had the luxury of building this thing up over the past couple of years. I mean, we already know what happened to Anthony Lynn. He got dismissed, and then Ben had the keys for about 3 years to be able to build this thing up. So, of course, when you bring in a new voice, things are not going to look perfect out the gate. So I think that's what we're seeing right now. And the fact that you can sit at 5-2 after losing both of your coordinators and still really be in the mix to go ahead and do something special this season, I think that is a perfect place for them to be. They can go ahead and head into this bye week. Dan Campbell already said that he's going to be able to sit back and go through this with a fine-tooth comb. And then let's just see how it looks after the break. But I would say right now, yes, there are some concerns. You would obviously getting David Montgomery more involved in the offense is something you want to see more. You obviously want to see Jameson Williams involved in the offense more because, granted, the Lions' offense is taking what defenses are giving them. He's still a big play threat. But at the end of the day, John Morton is still figuring this out. This is still Dan Campbell's offense. Now Dan is able to go into this bye week 5-2, sit back, get his clicker going, and he said he's already charged his coordinators with some homework. He's dismissed them. He's dismissed all of his coaches after tonight for to go ahead and go take care of their business, rest up, and relax. And they're going to hit the ground running next week.
Kory, what'd you think of Ali McNeil's kind of debut? I mean, he looked really good. He had a pass deflection. It seemed like they were already doubling him. And he played a lot, probably more than, I didn't check the snap count, but it looked like he played a lot more than probably people anticipated. But what'd you think of kind of how Aleem looks coming off that ACL injury?
Well, yeah, Dan Campbell said leading into the game, the goal was to get him about 20 to 25 snaps. He played 45. I believe it was 37 in the pass rush and 8 in the run defense. And I would say that he did look a little rusty, but I mean, that's to be expected. His last bit of football, his last NFL snap in the same building, but week 15 last year. The fact that he's already back, we know it's like a year recovery from the ACL, tearing your ACL, but for a guy of his size to be able to be back within 10 months and look how he did, even while being rusty, that's going to be a good sign. I feel that their defensive front benefited with him being out there. Now he's able to go take, got his got his feet under him, got that bit of physicality, which he wanted. Now they're able to go into the bye week. He's able to rest up again and then come back healthy and come back ready for when they come out that bye week and host Minnesota.
Yeah, Kory, defensively, the secondary, obviously, yesterday, I felt like that was one of the biggest news in the storyline coming out of yesterday was essentially, I saw actually someone, ESPN or someone put it out, like just a bunch of journeyman secondary guys who have been fighting in the NFL to stay around and find their spot. Stepped up in primetime yesterday. I kind of a two-part question. One, what are your thoughts on all those guys kind of stepping up and doing what they did? And then two, for the people heading into the bye and then coming out of the bye, guys like DJ Reed, Terrion, Kirby, what are your expectations for them and their time, some of those guys' timetable to get back and healthy after the bye?
So fans, at least some of the fans that I've come across, they hate to hear when this Lions team says next man up, next man up. But that's the mentality that they have. They always talk about, they have a 53-man roster, but they look at it as a 69-man roster. You need to be ready to play when your number is called. They practice like you're going to get in there because they may call your number. And that's really all you saw. You saw Kelvin Sheppard put his stamp on his defense. You saw Dan Campbell get the troops ready. You saw the culture that they've been building for the past 5 years show up on primetime football when they needed it most. All throughout the week, there's been stories about Baker Mayfield and his MVP arc. And let's be real, Baker Mayfield has been playing phenomenal football going into that game. But they got their guys ready because they believe in that next man up. That's why you have a Nick Whiteside, Hallett, Marlowe. You've seen those guys step up and make plays because of how the Lions practice, of how that coaching staff gets those guys ready. So while it is, I would say it is shocking that they held the Buccaneers to 9 points. I mean, I didn't see that coming. But at the same time, when you have a locker room that really believes in what their coaches are saying and you have complete buy-in, matter of fact, I'll just say it right there. That last night was an example of complete buy-in. That's really it in a nutshell. As far as your second part of your question of the guys coming back, time off is great. You're going to go ahead and get DJ Reed back after this Vikings game. He's going to be eligible to come off. You're going to be able to have Marcus Davenport come back. And I think that Al-Quadin Muhammad has done enough to go ahead and solidify his role. But now you're throwing Marcus Davenport into that rotation. That could possibly be something special or something at least serviceable for the rest of the season. Terrion Arnold, I think that they already said, well, I don't think they already did say that they're going to start rotating Amik Robertson in there a little bit more because Amik Robertson has definitely earned his keep for more snaps in his defense. So, they're getting a lot of their defensive horses back after this bye week when they really need it for the final haul because they got Minnesota, they have Philly, they got Washington. I mean, they got some tough opponents coming up, and I think right now it's happening at the perfect time for them.
Yeah, last question for me, Kory. Jameson Williams, I know he posted the stories, and people immediately assume that that's probably related to him not getting a catch yesterday. You see the tweets, people saying he did 60 minutes of cardio. Would you think of the just Jameson Williams over the last couple weeks? I know he had a good game against the Chiefs, but just kind of the up and down use of JMO. Is it still figuring out how to use JMO, or is it anything to worry about for fans or not? What do you think?
Well, so it's funny you mentioned that. I'm going to read this stat that I, did some homework on verbatim. I wrote this down. Jameson Williams' numbers are down a little bit from his first 7 games last year compared to this year, but not by much. Last year, he had 20 receptions, 414 yards, 20.7 yards per reception, 3 touchdowns. This year, 17 receptions, 289 yards, 17 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns. So that's about a 30% dip in yards per game. But his catch rate is about the same, and he's still producing deep level threat. The effort is there. There's not a difference of effort. It's just more so the usage. So, I mean, it's a slight fall off, but, not too much. Last year, through his first 7 games, because you still got to remember, I'm still going 7 games, even though he had suspension. His first 7 games last year, he had 35 targets. Through 7 games this year, he has 30 targets. So it's a slight dip, but it's not the end of the world. I believe that with this bye, they're going to have time to figure out how to get him more involved in this offense. If they don't have a way figured out to get him more involved in this offense, I say by the time they get to that Commanders game, okay, maybe you can start asking more questions. But again, you're talking about an offense that has a lot of mouths to feed. And then on top of this, it's not like they're losing and not getting him the ball. They're getting the ball to an all-pro receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown, who leads the league in touchdown receptions. So it's like, yeah, you would like to see the Ferrari being driven more, but I mean, you still got a damn Bugatti.
Yeah, Kory, I'm right there with you. I actually said too, and I understand like JMO, maybe there is the frustration there, whether we know it or not. But I even said like, and a lot of people brought up his contract. It's like he signed the contract. Like everyone knew, I think, in this offense, what Amon-Ra is. The man's a back-to-back first-team All-Pro. Like that he's going to be getting the rock no matter what. And then Sam Laporta too. Like Sam Laporta's a guy that takes a hit because of it too. But they know. So that's why I thought it was interesting to see the Instagram post. Another player too, actually, I want to get your thoughts on, Kory, David Montgomery, because there's been a couple of weeks where you've seen, 4 carries last week. This week he had more carries, but the production really wasn't there. What are your thoughts on what's going on with D-Mont right now? Obviously, Jameer was incredible, so that takes away a little bit from D-Mont. But what are your thoughts on the whole D-Mont thing as well?
I think they have to figure out how to get him more involved, especially in some 3rd and shorts. Figure out a way to go ahead and get him more involved in the offense. But again, you have last season's touchdown king in Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is a guy that we know that the MVP is a quarterback award, but this guy has MVP potential. This guy had 218 all-purpose yards last night. And when you have a guy that is that talented, he needs touches. He just does. So I don't know how they're going to figure out how to get Demo involved. Like I said, 3rd downs has been a issue where they've fallen short this season. So maybe when they get some 3rd and shorts, get swap out Jahmyr, get Demo in there and pick up the 3rd and short, and kind of run with it that way to make it either he picks up that 1st down or he makes the 4th down a little bit more manageable. But when you got a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, it's kind of like hard to say they're doing a bad thing by getting him involved, but you definitely want to figure out a way to utilize a guy like David Montgomery and his talents.
Well, we appreciate you, Kory, as always. You guys can follow Kory at Kory Woods. He's going to sleep for the next 24 hours.
Can I ask one more thing?
Yeah, sure.
Kory, I just want to get your thoughts. I know you're not covering Pistons anymore. Just thoughts on Pistons in general this season, like expectations, playoffs, all that. Are you? If you want to throw it out there, because they start tomorrow, it feels like it's a big. I know you covered them last year.
I think that they have a chance to do something special. There are a lot of guys, Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, some of those top stars in the East are down. So as long as the Pistons can go ahead and stay healthy, I believe they have a chance to make some noise. I'm not trying to, matter of fact, I'm not in the building anymore, so I can go ahead and say this. I think that if they're in a position where there is a superstar available at the deadline, they have to figure, or a superstar or an all-star, maybe a guy like a Lauri Markkanen or somebody else out there. You have Tobias Harris, he's expiring contract to dangle out there. And then, you heard some of the reports that they're kind of lukewarm on bringing back Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren. I have to see if there's a follow-up for that because, like I said, I'm all Lions. But I think they have a chance to go ahead and be something special in the East. As long as you have a healthy Cade Cunningham, who I believe is going to be, I would say probably over the next year or two, probably going to be the face of the NBA, they're in a good spot.
Good stuff, Kory. We appreciate
I love it.
Get some rest, bro. You've been grinding.
Yeah.
Follow Kory at Kory Woods. That was great work. DetroitLionsFamLive.com. We'll talk to you soon, Kory.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Appreciate it, Kory.
Kory Woods. That man needs to get some sleep. All right.
Well-deserved bye week, too. I'm guessing, like, beat writers and guys don't fully get a bye week because you still have to put. But hopefully, actually, I hope they let him take a couple days off this week. Honestly, because it's a grind of a season. For sure,
Yeah, I know.
Take a couple
Even
days.
like everyone in the media. I mean, now that I'm doing this show with Justin, Will, and Colt, you see how much those guys are.
Yeah,
they don't. Yeah, they're always
it's nonstop, dude. It's 6-7 days a week. I mean, it's a lot. So
now I will say we have more to get to about this game, offensively, defensively. Jameson, Dave Montgomery, the defense, Aleem, all that stuff, and our top 10 Tuesday later. But before we get to all of that, so stick around. I have to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper because they are our proud sponsor and the fastest organically growing fantasy platform in the world. They have over 6 million users as of in 2023, only continuing to grow. They still earn some of the highest levels of engagement per user in the industry because at Sleeper, it's not just about sports. It's about building those personal connections and lasting memories. It's the best way to experience and connect over sports together. Sleeper Picks, which you guys should be using, is a real money product that connects friends over picks. It's very simple. You just choose 2 or more of your favorite players. You can do up to 8 from pregame, live, or even across different sports. They'll give you the stats, the projected stats. You pick more or less. You can parlay them. You can pick them individually, and you can get up to 1,000x payouts. You share with your friends, get rewarded together. Use the code CT Sports, get a 100% match up to $100, and they also have a free $20 entry aside from the code you can use. So they got stuff going on over at Sleeper. Shout out to them for sponsoring the show, as always. Boone.
Hey, before we get into Lions, I know we're gonna do all this. Like, I just want to throw this out there. The NBA is back today, right?
Yes.
You know the one thing that I like. It's just so funny to me to start the NBA season. Seeing, like, obviously you don't see players. A lot of these players you don't see through the offseason, right? Like they go work out. You don't. A lot of these guys aren't in the media until the season comes around. It's so interesting to me, like some of these players that just randomly come back and are just bald. Like guys who were never bald, they're just are bald now. Like Jeff Green. Jeff Green's been in the NBA since like 2007, like forever. Always had hair,
and he's bald.
He's bald. Like I'm like, who is that? That's Jeff Green. He's just bald. He was never bald. He just one off season. He's like, I'm gonna go fully bald. It's just like, dude, what? Like, remember when Caruso did it? Like, you just come back. Like, remember when is it Patrick White?
Did he go bald too?
Or Derek White. Sorry.
Derek White, yeah.
Derek White. Remember when Derek White just like he had that hair and then all of a sudden he just comes back one year and it was like Derek White's bald. Yeah. But it just happens every start of every NBA season. There's probably like 4 or 5 dudes who just always go bald.
If they don't get
Jay Hart said he's been bald the last 2 seasons. I haven't seen Jeff Green in 2 years then, dude.
And they had Jeff Green playing in the preseason. Cade might go bald if they don't get him help. So they better fix that.
Is there anyone else in the league right now who should go bald?
Well, I think LeBron James is holding on.
Yeah, he should go. KD even, right?
Definitely be bald.
Jalen Suggs, definitely. He's the next one that just shows up bald.
Yeah.
He's the next one that shows up bald for sure. I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else? I don't know. There are definitely guys too who don't need to go bald, who just go bald for the look, and you're just like, why is he bald?
It's in right now. All right, Devon Carter, bald.
Who would be the funniest person to bald that you're just like, whoa?
Steph Curry. If he just showed up bald. He'd be Wardell. He'd be Wardell if he was bald.
What if like Kawhi just showed up bald?
You never know. You saw what Mike did bald. You never know. Just saying, Chet bald would be crazy. Hey, Boone, I gotta mention to you before we get to the offense, because I do want to talk about the offense too, because people are talking about Montgomery. Don't worry, we'll get to Monty. We'll get to JMO. Can we just talk about this defense?
Let's do. We should do 30 minutes on this defense.
I mean, this defense deserves all the praise. I mean, last night, that was one of the more dominant performances I've seen from this Detroit Lions team in terms of like what they do defensively. That was, I mean, we've seen good defensive performances, but in that type of game against that team to do what they did, they allowed 1 touchdown against the Buccaneers. 1 touchdown, which is crazy. They did, and they gave up the touchdown in the third quarter. So the first half they didn't allow a touchdown. They had I read this today too on the morning show when I was talking to the people. This is the most insane part of this whole, what the defense did. They allowed 3.4 yards to carry, okay, which is really good. They did a really good job against the run. They allowed 4.6 yards a completion. So combined, yards per completion and yards per run or rush, it was under 10 combined. I mean,
Crazy.
You're usually seeing like the Lions had 8.3 yards a completion.
Yeah.
Baker had basically half that. He was 28 of 50 for 228. 23 QBR for Baker.
I mean, they ran for 41 total yards. 41.
Dude, like, that had to be one of the more dominant performances I've ever. That was. I can't believe it. I mean, Kelvin Sheppard, the coaching to me, that's the perfect example of coaching. You go into that game with all the injuries in the secondary. You're missing your number one and number two corners. You're missing your both your safeties, which, by the way, one of the best safeties in the league, both of them. And you have your boy Nick Whiteside. He comes off the practice squad. He has multiple pass deflections. You have Thomas Harper, who's a young player. He played well. You have Rocky Sin, who's been kind of a role player his whole career. He played well. Amik Robertson, who's, I think, the steady kind of part of this whole secondary. He played well. Eric Hallett, practice squad guy. He played well. Lauren Strickland played some snaps. He looked good. I mean, all these guys from the practice squad or off the street, all due respect, look good. To me, that's coaching. That's
sure.
Kelvin Sheppard.
Scheme, coaches.
Scheme, making sure those guys are in the best position. And you know what we talked about last week, which I brought up? Baker's one of the best quarterbacks in the entire league against zone coverage. He's like second in passer rating against zone coverage. He's like number one in completion percentage or top three. I forgot which one it was. Against man coverage, he's significantly worse. Guess what the Lions did? They went into that game, ran a lot of man coverage. At least watching the game. I'd have to check the actual data on that. They ran some zone, but Calvin adjusted to what Baker was as a quarterback.
Well, actually, someone tweeted out, and I want to make sure I can't give credit because I don't remember who it was. It was one of the beat writers, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think the Lions defense was in zone. I think I remember 44% of the time, and I think it might have been Nolan. Hold on, let me see, because I could get an exact number here. It was such an interesting stat, Jeff, to where in zone, I think there was 44% of the time they only gave up like less than 70 yards in zone. Like it was like an insane number. Here it is, Nolan Bianchi. Lions defense played zone coverage on 44.4% of dropbacks against Tampa Bay last night. On the 12 Bucs passes thrown against zone, they only gave up 5 catches for 17 yards with 4 pass breakups. So they were in zone on 12 of their passes that were actually thrown. Like 12 times the ball got thrown, only 17 yards out of it. 17. That's it. So they were elite in zone, and they only did it 44%, less than half of the time they were in zone.
Which is down from last week, 70%
yes.
they ran last week.
And I think, too, something with this defense you brought up, like these guys that get kind of plugged and played, like you're plugging and playing guys essentially in the secondary while guys are getting back healthy. Where in the past, like last year, like defensively, they were figuring it out a little bit, but you saw it caught up. The one team that I actually like really think does a very good job at it, and I heard someone talk about it this week, is the San Francisco 49ers, to where they have their scheme, they have what they do, and they're able, and Robert Saleh and that 49ers defense, they're able to figure out ways to get things done within that scheme, no matter who is playing. No matter what, like they just know how to get it done, and Saleh knows how to coach guys, and whether it's an all-pro safety or corner, or if it's a guy that's a practice squad. But guess what? Like they still are very consistent, and they still get stops, and they're still really good defensively. That's what this Detroit Lions defense feels like right now. It really does. And like, yeah, there's going to be games where they give some up, but like a game last night versus an MVP candidate. And a Bucs offense that's typically explosive, like you said the week before, they gave up, or they have 1,000,000 yards on. Who did they play, Jeff? Who was it? The week before, you brought it up earlier. Whoever it was,
were we talking about the Bucs?
Yeah,
the 49ers.
49ers, where they have 400 yards, whatever it was, on the 49ers.
Yeah,
and this Lions defense comes in, hold them under 250 yards. With literally practice squad players in the secondary. 4 of your 5 secondary starters were out yesterday, and you held them to under 250 yards, an MVP candidate quarterback who slings the rock. And who wasn't supposed to have Emeka Egbuka, had, I think, outside of Mike Evans, maybe wide receiver 1, but Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver 1 as well. Like that guy, he's incredible. He's second in the NFL right now for offensive player or rookie of the year. So like he's a weapon. And they were able to hold him under 250 yards and under almost 40 yards rushing. Like, that's an incredible performance. I do want to do Aleem McNeil. I'm gonna give credit, Jeff, where credit's due. A lot of people were tweeting at me. It was really just one guy who was really mad at me, being like, Booner, when are you going to apologize for saying Aleem McNeil wasn't worth this contract? And you know what I'm going to do, Jeff? Not apologizing to anyone. I still think my point is completely correct to where he is paid the third highest defensive tackle in the NFL. Insane money. And I don't think he's played up to that level of top 3 the last 2 years. But I think last night, and this is where I'll give the credit due. Last night, he looked incredible. Like, he looked like what you paid him for last night. Like, he was dominant in the middle. Dominant. Like, every single time you go watch the film, anytime that Baker was getting blown up, guess who it was? It was Aleem McNeil in the middle. Tip passes, Aleem McNeil. Yeah, and he was still, like, I saw a play, I can't remember what quarter it was, where he literally just took the center and just threw him into Baker Mayfield. And Baker just had to get rid of the ball and it was done. Play was over. Now, I will say this. I've been consistent with this with Aleem, and if you guys watch the show, and Jeff, I think you would agree with this, I've never said that Aleem McNeil can't be a top 5 defensive tackle. I've always said he's got the talent to do it. The same with Tyreek. Like, he's got the skills to do it. He's got the talent to do it. It's about doing it consistently. So he did it last night. Like, I want to see it when we come back versus the Vikings. I want to see it again versus the Commanders and versus the Eagles. And I want to see it for the rest of the year. And then at that point, then I'll be like, okay, I'm never going to apologize because I still think he didn't live up to the last year of his contract because he was injured for the last 2 years. But he could still do it going forward. And I'm not going to say I was wrong because I wasn't wrong. I think that was a fact because I still think he is that level of a player, but he just needs to do it, man.
You want the production to match where the
and it's not even like last night. People are like, well, he didn't have sacks. I don't I bring the sacks up in kind of a prism of like, hey, this is what other defensive tackles are doing. But if you have a dominant performance in the interior like you did last night, where you're making Baker Mayfield just in duress all night, that's fine. Like, I will take that over sacks, right? Like, because Hutch will get him, AQM will get for sure. But I need last night every week because, like, you're getting paid top 3 money. That should be there should never be a down week, right? If you're getting paid that much. Like, if I turn on Jalen Carter film, guess what? Every week he's doing that. So I want Aleem to do that every single week. And I think he can do it. It's just like, let's do it, right?
Well, I think where you're coming from, to be fair, tell me if I'm wrong. Wait, now, because I don't think you're – I get what you're saying. You're saying you're looking at this Lions team, every player they've signed to be top of their – at least up there, maybe not top, but up there at the top of their position. Amon-Ra, Panay, they're going to pay Aiden. They paid Kirby. Those guys are consistently productive, and dude, yeah, I get your point, like what you're talking.
Amon-Ra is a back-to-back first-team All-Pro, right? That's why he gets paid top 10 money, top 5 money. Panay Sewell is a first-team All-Pro, and he's probably gonna have a chance to win the Offensive Lineman of the Year award, right? That's why he gets paid top money. Aiden Hutchinson's he's in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, and he's potentially going to be a first-team All-Pro this year, right? I'm not even asking Aleem to be first-team All-Pro. But hey, like, let's get a Pro Bowl. Let's get in those conversations and let's do it consistently, right? I know he can do it, but it's about doing it. In the last 2 years, he just hasn't done it. And I know people are like, well, he's injured. I get that. Like, that's also part of my point is staying healthy and doing what the Jalen Carters do, doing what the Matabukes do, doing what those interior guys do. Yep. So you're able to live up to that contract. Because, I mean, like, people are asking me to say sorry. Like, say sorry for what? I've said he's a great football player and he can do that. My issue has always been he's not available. And when he has been available, he's had games where he's been off and you're like, where's Aleem? But then he's had games like last night where he's incredible. You see what I'm saying? So there's no apologize. Yeah. Like, apologize for what? Being right or not even being right. Stating facts. You see what I'm saying? So there's nothing that Aleem can do to prove me wrong because I think he can do it. I just want him to go out there and do it.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see how Aleem grows for the rest of the year. I think what he's done the last 10 months, like Kory said, is not only get healthy, but he's been able to work out, maybe not put a ton of pressure on that knee, obviously, but overall he's in the best shape. I mean, they talked about it. I was talking to some of the beat writers, and they mentioned how Aleem looks. I mean, he was in pretty good shape. He looks in terrific shape, and you saw that last night, even though he was a little rusty at times, like Kory pointed out. Just his first game back, playing 40-something snaps. Yeah. He's in great shape. Like, I want to see,
looks
like,
great, dude.
You just want to see that Aleem consistently to kind of dominate.
He looked like a top 10 defensive tackle
because they need that. This defensive line needs that, man. Like they've been playing well, but they could definitely use Aleem playing at that level. Like he's only going to make the others around him better.
For sure. I also do want to give credit to Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell's just incredible, dude. Like he
had another great game. I mean, he's let me see.
He's taking that step forward, and it's not even just this last week. Like, dude, I feel like since week 2, we talked about it after that Packers game, like or the week 2 with the Bears game. Like he had a big game, and then he just every week it just feels like he keeps stacking like elite performances on top of each other. And I think it's just at the point to where he's just like I said it last year. I thought he was the top 5 linebacker. Last year I thought he was, and I think this year it's like solidified. Like he's top 5. You can argue top 3 right now.
Yeah, I mean he's top 10 in tackles. He has 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He's got a couple pass deflections in there. Yeah, he's got 1 pass deflection. He's been all over the place.
It's a disruptor,
man. I mean,
dude.
He's got 65 tackles in 7 games. Like he's going to have 120, 130 tackles this year. I mean, he's going to have another one, and he's on pace for 6 sacks. He has 3 sacks through 7 games.
It's incredible, dude. He's having this is like what when you told me, Jeff, you're like, this is what I want to see something specific out of. I feel like he's doing that.
Oh, he's doing it. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, he's doing it. I can't. I mean, there's nothing to say. He's been playing incredible. I mean, he's been a beast. He actually has been. He's been their most consistent linebacker for sure. Every week you kind of know, like, week 1, the whole defense struggled. It wasn't just Jack, but ever since that week 1 with the defense, they've gotten a lot better. And Jack's been super consistent. Like he's been tackling, forcing fumbles. He gets a sack every couple games. I mean, he's doing it all right now. And honestly, I got to give love just the front 7 in general. I mean, Derek Barnes had a sack, a pass deflection yesterday. He had a safety against the Bengals. Like Derek Barnes, man, another one. I think Jack has 3 sacks. But I think Derek Barnes also has 3 sacks. I think they're like the linebackers are getting out there, man. Like, Derek Barnes has 3 sacks. Yeah. And then Anzo has the pick. Like this linebacker crew, man, is balling. They're balling together. This is the first time you've gotten to see all 3 of them play this amount of games. I mean, Derek Barnes got hurt last year, so
I really wish we could have Derek Barnes on in this whole Klotz thing.
Well, Klotz admitted he was wrong last night.
For sure, but I mean, we all have takes. I think that take kind of magnifies a little bit more because Derek Barnes responded to it, and Derek Barnes essentially was like, okay, like, hold my beer, like, watch what I'm about to do. And he's going out there and he's balled out, dude. And me and you, I'm glad me and you were on the right side of it because we actually, like, start the last year, you got to see a glimpse of it. And, like, if you actually, like, and I think you brought up a good point last year after the injury. And then when, like, the contract did happen, it was like, he is young still. And, like,
he's 20. They're paying him for what they want. They think he can be 26.
It's not like he's a 30-year-old guy. Like, no, dude, he's a younger, like, not super young, but still young in his career to where he can get better and better in the next 3 or 4 years. Like Derek Barnes is going to be very good. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the sack leaders on the Lions right now, like AQM has 5, which is crazy. He's top 10 in sacks. Aiden has 6. AQM has 5. Obviously, they both lead the team in sacks. Then you have 3 linebackers. Jack Campbell with 3. Derek with 3. Anzo with 1.5. And then you have Tyrus Wheat with 1.5 because he had
1.5 last night.
Big game. But yeah, like that, it's been the linebacker crew besides those 2 pass rushers, man.
That's crazy, man. That's incredible.
Why it's nice to have a lean back because DJ Reader's been playing really well. He's just not going to give you that type of production. But DJ Reader's another one he's been really good this year too. Yeah. DJ Reader. He's been another guy up front that's been pretty good. But him and Tyleek are kind of just nose tackles though.
Like, did you see my tweet?
No.
Okay, so let me give you this stat. Ready for this stat? Actually, don't look at anything. Shut the chat off. I want you. How many snaps do you? Did you already see snap counts?
No.
How many snaps do you think Tyleek had? And I'll give you a hint. I think there was about 80-ish. I think there was like 80-something defensive snaps in the 80s this game. I believe maybe it was 90.
I would say so. Aleem played 40. DJ, I would say he played 25.
You knew Aleem played 40?
Kory just said that, I think.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that kind of messes it up. Yeah, how many do you think DJ Reader played?
I said Tyleek. Did Tyleek play 25? I said 25.
Oh, I'll wait to tell. I want to hear
okay, DJ Reader, I'd say 37.
So about 60 combined?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing.
Yeah, the math adds 60-ish combined. Lee McNeil played 44. DJ Reader and Tyleek combined played 40. Lee McNeil played more snaps than both of them combined.
You know why? Because they're running them both at nose tackle.
Yeah. Well, that answers our question about how are they going to do this rotation. And I think right away, like there's no limitations on Aleem to where they're like, you're going. And he literally just that's their guy. And then Roy Lopez and Tyrese Wheat are the two that.
Yeah, I don't know why I said so high for DJ Reader. I forgot Roy Lopez also played a little bit, didn't he?
But Roy didn't play that much. I think he played like 10 snaps.
Yeah, he's going to get
if that.
Yeah, I will say I think that's the best kind of look for this defense, to have Aleem and Tyleek or Aleem and DJ Reader. And then if you want to roll another 3, if you want to go heavy run and give Aleem a rest, maybe you play those, play DJ Reader and Tyleek together. But I think Tyleek's better as at that DJ Reader spot. I think he's just not the pass rusher yet. So you can't put him.
I think so hard because DJ Reader is so good too. Like,
yeah, but it keeps him fresh too. Keeps him fresh.
Yeah. Both of them. Yeah,
that's interesting. So Tyleek's going to be the one that probably sacrifices a little bit, because you got to play DJ Reader, man. I mean, he's playing well. So,
which is fine. I mean, it keeps, like you said, it also keeps Tyleek fresh, but also I think it helps Tyleek learn a little bit more, like the development. I know you want him, like you're going to get more reps without one of those guys, but at the end of the day,
look how many reps he had without him already. I mean,
yeah. But at the end of the day, like a rookie Tyleek Williams, like he's good, but you don't think he's probably not better than a 10th year DJ Reader, or a year 4 or year 5 Aleem McNeil.
Thing I like about Tyleek is he always gets past. He gets some pass deflections. He always keeps his hands up, but he's not a guy you're looking at a stat sheet for right now. I mean, he's like, don't look up ESPN Tyleek Williams. You're not like you're. I
wonder too his double team or the double team like rate, because I wonder if there's a world where like Aleem's always going to get doubled, right? Or not always, but they're going to key in on him. If they're not doubling Hutch, it's Aleem. And DJ Reader also, I think I saw a stat this week that DJ Reader is the highest. I think he has the highest double team rate out of defensive tackles in the NFL. I thought I saw something like that or on the team. DJ Reader.
Hold on. Jeez, right. I'm gonna see.
Yeah, October 18th. You ready for this stat? This is Will Birchfield. Ready for this? Tweeted this out on October 18th. DJ Reader has faced the highest rate of double teams in the NFL this year per PFF. Aleem's return could change that. So that's crazy.
You got to. He's that big fella.
So if you put him and Aleem in, and you have Hutch, who are you?
Yeah, they threw the kitchen sink at Hutch yesterday. I mean,
yeah.
That was probably, like, out of all the games we've seen, like, Hutch has had a sack in every game but week 1. Last night, he didn't have a sack. That was going to that game. But Hutch was, dude, watching the game last night, yeah, I see why now Tyrese Wheat got a sack, or, some other players got a sack. I mean, they threw they told themselves, Hutch is not taking over this game like last year. He's not. They chipped him twice. Like, he had like a running back chip him, tight end chip, and running back chip him, and then he took on the tackle. By the time the ball's already out. So it's like Hutch just didn't have, he didn't have all the opportunities, but guess what? That's where everyone else comes into play and kind of gets eaten a little bit. But that's what happens when you're doing what Aiden Hutchinson's doing this year, man. Mm-hmm. He's 4th in the league in sacks. He has 4 forced fumbles on the year. So
I think he leads the NFL in forced fumbles and strip sacks as well.
Yep.
With 3.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, too, I don't mean to start this argument with you. You being like a meek, that one missing the fumble.
Him and Tyleek, dude. They both.
I know. Okay, I agree. Like, yeah, you need to get it. Like, I think it's an emphasis.
You see what Tyleek put out on social media after?
What did he say?
The Butterfingers meme.
Oh yeah, like listen, I get it. Like I don't think it's like as big of a mistake as you were making it, because I do think, yes, obviously you want to get it, but in the moment that's tough. That's like a tough interception, right? Like, you're not going to get everyone as a secondary player, so you don't want to be like, dude, you're like the worst for not getting, like, whatever. Let's also not forget, I didn't realize this in the moment. Like, Meek had a massive punch out for a forced fumble recovered by Hutch. So it was just like, you can't be like this guy. That whole argument yesterday was insane.
No, I'm not arguing that. He had a punch out. It was great.
I didn't realize he was the one that punched that one up.
Yeah, he's actually he had 3-4 punch outs last year. So
yeah.
He does it. He's the best DB to have punching the ball out. No question. He does it really well. I mean, and Hutch actually should have more. He should have another strip sack. That it got called back.
I think 2 of them this year got called back.
So it's like, for being real, he should have like 5-6 forced fumbles already, which is crazy. He's having a year, man. And I will say, defensively, another player I did want to bring up. I mean, we'd be remiss. I mean, where did Nick Whiteside come from? Who is this guy?
I've known him since 2016, 2017. So I don't know where he came from.
They can't put this man back on the practice squad. He'll be gone by tomorrow.
No. Yeah. Good for him, dude. He literally that one game changed his whole career, like for the next 3 or 4 years. He's gonna have opportunities.
Dude, he saved like 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like this guy, like he had the pass deflection. I think it was on like Tez or Cameron Johnson or something. They were
that was on Emeka Egbuka. I put it out right before the show tonight. I put out on our Crunch Time account. He had against Emeka Egbuka, he got targeted 4 times, 0 catches and 3 pass deflections. 3 pass deflections and 4 targets versus Emeka Egbuka.
Dude, he's
legit, dude. He's good,
dude, man. And that's credit to Brad.
He was like that at Saginaw too. He was the GLIAC Defensive Player of the Year as a secondary player. Like that typically goes to, edge rushers, linebackers. Guy was a corner and won Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. That doesn't happen. And he was like a dude at Saginaw. And I'll say this too, for people, like the people that don't know, like at SVSU, like when you're there, you can get a feeling on who's going to end up being an absolute dog. Like I remember my boy Nate, who was a running back at Saginaw and then ended up being in the Packers and Browns. Like Nate, Nick, Trevor, like these guys, like there are guys who go home during like, let's say Christmas break when football's over. There's guys in the summer, like when you're able to go home. But there are guys, Jeff, who just stick around and live in the weight room where there's like 6 or 7 just dudes in the weight room or at the Rider Center where, all this stuff is. And I obviously worked there. I had an office there, like at the Rider Center. Like you can see guys there. These like Nick Whiteside was there every day. Like he was in Saginaw. Nate, Trevor, dudes, man. I'm telling you. How sick is that though, huh?
Auburn Hills.
I do think it's crazy, and I actually saw an interview yesterday of him talking about him and Trevor both did an interview. I think it was channel like 7 or something. Both of those guys grew up Lions fans, like around the Metro Detroit area. Both of them go to Saginaw and played with each other. The odds of both of them ending up somehow, some way on the Detroit Lions, a team that they both grew up playing for or rooting for, like how crazy. Like there's 32 teams in the NFL. Like the chances odds of making the NFL is so slim, especially from a D2 school. But for both of them to both be from the area and actually play, like you don't see that a lot, dude. You really don't.
Yeah, and Brad, I think, has been consistent in looking at local talent. I mean, he's brought some guys in, like Isaac Tesla, Steve Wild just said it. Like he's kind of He likes a little bit of that. You're from around here. He kind of likes that. Not that that's the end all. You got to be talented, but Nick Whiteside. I mean, go check his numbers at SVSU, man. He had the numbers. He was doing it. He has the work ethic like you talk about. He's from here, but yeah, he definitely got a job. I mean, whether it's the Lions or he has a job in the NFL. Like that dude balled out. He played, and that was a prime time matchup against that receiver at times and Baker Mayfield.
These guys grind, dude. I will tell you what, these guys grind, dude. Yeah, I just keep thinking back, like summer, like college. You have NIL, right? Fun story, and you have NIL now. These guys are making hundreds of thousands. Even like before NIL, D1 guys are still making money, right? Like they're somehow like they're getting checks.
They're making money, yeah.
You know what we did at Saginaw in the summertime to work? We were cleaning dorm rooms, like bathrooms and dorm rooms throughout the summer. Like these guys were doing that. Like Nick Whiteside cleaning dorm rooms. Like to have money in the summer to stay around and go through camp and practice, like waking up at 7 a.m., 5 a.m. doing lifts. And then we're all teaming up and going to a dorm room with the custodians on campus. I just remember this earlier today because I saw someone post on Facebook about it. And it was just like, yeah, these guys, like that, those are summer jobs. It's crazy, dude.
Now
Sorry, I'm reminiscing now because I was out. Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, it's like reminiscing because I was out here working with these guys, these random jobs on campus in the summer when no one's on campus. It's literally like the basketball team and football team. We're just grinding together.
Hey, what did you think of what JMO posted? Did you see?
I don't know, man.
Doc put this out. Don't be alarmed about Jameson Williams. He might be stuck at 984 traffic, or is he sad about John Morton, or sad with John Morton not getting him more targets? He posted this.
I don't know, dude.
And then he posted this, the Michael Jordan on Cam Newton meme last night on his story. After the game, he had, and then this is what this is just disrespectful. It was, let me see if I can find it. It was a betting app that posted, like, kind of threw shade at JMO. I forgot which one it was. But it was essentially just making fun of him for doing cardio, which is uncalled for. It's a little ridiculous. But people were tweeting about him last night, whether it's because of your parlays or your fantasy teams or whatever it is. People were wondering what's going on with Jameson Williams. And I know here we go. Underdog NFL. This is just crazy. Look at this. Hold on. Let me put this on screen. Look at this. Underdog NFL put 375 net yards on offense, not a single one to JMO. Look at this graphic. Oh, wait.
What does that say?
60 minutes of cardio.
Come on, man. Take this off the screen. Don't do this to JMO.
Don't do that
to my guy.
That's messed up, dude.
I don't know. I don't know I would love to get your thoughts. I want to hear what you think.
I think this is. Do I think it's JMO's fault? No. Can I start there? No, it's not JMO's fault because he can't control how many targets he gets. All right. But this is, and Booner, we don't have to agree on this. Okay. This is why I was a little skeptical about paying him as early as they did. Okay. Not for contractual reasons. I think the contract is fine for a guy like JMO. I think he's that money. You're like, ooh, like JMO's explosive. He's this. The reason why I was hesitant and maybe I was sitting there going, ooh, you had 2 years of control and you have Isaac Tesla is because I think the reality is this offense has too many weapons. They just have so many weapons. Jahmyr Gibbs had a massive game. Amon-Ra had a massive game. Those two combined for like 300 yards. Okay. Sam Laporta, you have Dave Montgomery. When he's on. Now they drafted Isaac Tesla in the third round. He looks like a promising receiver. Like Jared spreads the ball around. He's not a guy like Matthew who's going to feed Devontae or feed Puka. Like Jared spreads the ball around. It's just how he plays quarterback. He likes relying on his safety blankets. He likes a guy like Sam Laporta. He likes a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown. JMO, whether people want to say, change up his route tree or not, fine. But he is an explosive weapon, and to utilize him fully, you have to push the ball downfield consistently, which they don't do it all the time. They did it against the Browns. They were force-feeding him downfield. It just wasn't really working out. I just think this is the unfortunate reality, Booner, of his role in this offense with so many weapons. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing or not. I think it's just the reality. You're going to have weeks where Sam Laporta doesn't really do anything. JMO doesn't really do anything because you have all these weapons and mouths to feed. That's why I think John Morton's job is really hard because he's got to feed all these guys. But that's why I was like, okay, you're paying him, but he's not going to be used at a high volume like Kory just went into. Like wide receiver twos typically get. Like he's not going to get a ton of targets, unfortunately, because that's just not how the offense is. They have so many weapons. So I don't think it's JMO's fault. I just think it's the reality, man. Like they just have so many weapons to feed. And I went through this morning. Jared, how many completions do you think he has a game? Probably 21 to 25, 26, something like that. 8 of them are going to Amon-Ra. Okay.
For sure.
Another 4 is going to Sam Laporta, 4 or 5, whatever. He gets his 4 catches. 1 or 2 is going to Brock. 2 are going to Montgomery. Another 3 or 4 are going to Jahmyr. How many are we at? We're almost at like 20 already.
I mean,
It just doesn't leave a lot of room for JMO. That's what I'm saying. That's
at all.
Reality. That's the reality.
I think you said it perfect. If I'm being honest,
It's unfortunate, but
it's and the thing with it too. It's like I get what JMO wants. Like he wants to probably be in that Amon Ra role. Like especially if you're a competitive guy. And for JMO on a team where there's not an Amon Ra, I'm sure JMO could go out there and be at the top 5 in receiving yards in the NFL and have all those catches and touchdowns. It for sure could. Right, like he has the skill set to do it. It's just on the team you're on, and this is what I said earlier today. I texted you guys this actually. Just the contract was there, right? Like there's people that are like, why'd you pay JMO if you're not going to use? Like JMO knew signing this deal and getting extended that you have Amon Ra, that you have Sam Laporta, right? Like the Jahmyr Gibbs is there, and there are other weapons. Like that's part of signing a deal on one of the best offenses in the NFL, and you having to essentially be second, third, fourth option some days, right? Like Amon Ra and Jahmyr are going to always be 1 and 2. It's the same thing with David. Like David last week getting 4 carries. Like, yeah, David might have been upset, but it's like, hey, what it is, right? Right? Like, and I think David Montgomery could be an RB1 on 80% of the NFL teams. And I think Jahmyr or JMO could be a wide receiver 1 on over half of the NFL teams too. But it's just the team you're on. So I don't know. Like last week, he had 66 yards and a touchdown. He had a big game. I know we lost, but he still had a good game for you, right? And you saw a couple weeks ago, like they tried to force it to him 8 or 9 times. And guess what happened? Like there was drops, struggled. Like they couldn't get anything going with him. They couldn't connect. So it's like, it's not that they're not trying. So that's why I don't understand. Like, and I love JMO, dude. Like he's one of my favorite personalities, everything about him. Great for the city, great for the Lions. Fans love him. I don't know, like maybe those Instagram posts or stories weren't about that, but if they were, I don't know why he would throw them up. If I'm just being honest, you know what I mean? Like he had a decent week last week. He's had big weeks this year, and like what this offense is. Like the weapons that they have. What John Morton's trying to figure this thing out, right? Like, yeah. Don't throw that out there. Like, don't be that. Like, if John Morton's trying to figure this thing out, and internally you guys are trying to work on this thing. Why make that a distraction? Because now you got ML football tweeting out, JPA football. You got all these massive people.
People are waiting to pounce on that.
Yeah, what it is. Like, what's going to happen. And obviously, like, you do that if that's the case. Again, I don't want to allegedly, if that's the case of him putting that out with that, like, what you're doing, right? Like, you're putting it out there for people to see and for people to know, hey, I might be a little upset. I'm not getting targets or I'm not getting mine. Right? Like, I want to be used more. Like, our offense, obviously the offense wasn't great yesterday. Maybe the offense would be, but like, that's just in my opinion. That's an internal thing. Like, figure that out internally. Let's not make that a thing out there to distract away from what this team's doing right now. Personally. And I love JMO. Again, I want that known. Like, JMO's family follows. I love I love JMO. That's just the way I would approach it. And it's nothing against JMO. It's just more so like, hey, like I'm right there. Like I would love JMO to be involved more as well. But we know in the past, like there have been these things with distractions, whether I agree or disagree. Like the water bottle thing, like I disagree with that. It should have never been a distraction. And JMO was doing the right thing, and people made it a thing. Like the media is going to run with things. Just you don't need to do that because the media is going to run with it at the end of the day. That's how I feel about it.
No, it's well said. I think that's, don't give them a reason to, like ML, don't give these people a reason to use it. Even if you didn't mean it like that, they're going to try and say you meant it like that.
For sure.
And I'm with you on it. Like, I don't worry about JMO and JMO's talent. And this is just a gripe I have because people's response is to say, oh, Jeff, it doesn't matter. He affects the game so much even without touching the football. I agree with that. I agree because he is such an explosive player. Defenses have to adjust to having him on the field. I agree, but that's not why you're paying him. You can't justify, like, we're paying him $20-something million to just open up the field. Like, he wants to get the ball, you know what I'm saying? And that's just, in this offense, not always going to be a reality consistently, and I think I will give him a ton of credit. Like, JMO's handled it he's handled it very well. Like, they've asked him, they've tried and pry a little bit, the media, and try and see if he'll budge like a little bit, like, oh, you haven't getting targets. He's like, no, I just want to win. And like, he's been pretty good about it, but the reality is his production is down from last year so far. He's not on pace for another 1,000 yards. Like, he's on pace for so
I see his frustration. Like, listen, I fully get it because I personally, like, as someone who covers the team and a Lions fan as well, like, you want in this offense to have JMO involved. So it is a little like, is it concerning? Maybe a little bit, because if he is involved more, then that means defenses have to, key on him a little bit more. So I do think John Morton, there is a side, like there's a two sides to this, right? Like John Morton, you do have to find a way to get him involved. You can't fully take this guy out of the game. Like you cannot. Like make the defense take J-Mo out of the game. Don't take him out of the game yourself as an offense. That's how I look at it. So I want to see a little bit more. Like I would like to see it.
This comment is perfectly. It's a well said. He said, I said it earlier in the show. Pass rushes just this past game was just too fast. Hard to get him involved in 3-second drops. That's fair. Like when you are under duress, it's hard to get him downfield. Doesn't mean you can't get him the ball, but the route tree he's running, like that is a fair point. If he's probably running these, like Goff needs more than just a 3-step drop to get J-Mo involved in some of these big plays. Yeah. Usually Goff is going to Laporta or Amon-Ra. Those are his safety blankets. That's never going to change. Those two, or Brock Wright, whatever, tight end or Amon-Ra. Those are like usually where he goes. Middle of the field, just dump the ball, or his running backs. For whatever reason. Doesn't mean
J-Mo, and like AG's Burner said, that's my exact point. Like you do have to regularly feed him, so it does, take that deep threat out. Like they have to take that into account. But I agree. Like the offensive line, you got to get time for Jared for routes to develop and things to happen.
And Xavier says, give him a screen pass. I hate screen passes. Maybe that's just my random beef with.
Dude, there was a play yesterday where he was wide open in the middle of the field in a slant. And Jared just did not have enough time to get him the rock. And it was literally like a slant, like instantly. And he was just right away under pressure. It was wide open. And that was the option, it looked like. And he just, and if he would have caught it, he could have gone for 30.
Every time the Lions run a screen pass, unless it's in like the red zone, it's just a bust. I mean, it doesn't do it. Zyke says, let him throw the ball.
That's crazy. Come on.
Yeah, that's great. All right, we're not going to do that. Hey, what about Montgomery? All right, he's I
don't know what's happening with him.
Jameer's had a massive game. Obviously, Jameer had 200 plus yards, scrimmage yards. That's just a game you got to feed him. But they also did give 13 carries to David down the stretch too, and he still didn't really do anything. David, just haven't had a lot of success with David. I don't know what I don't know what it is, to be honest. I can't really put my finger on it. I mean, he had the massive game against Baltimore, and he's just been up and down. I mean, he had a good game against Kansas City. They didn't really give him the ball at all against Kansas City. Let's be fair. I mean, he had 4 carries for 24 yards. So like he had 6 a carry. He just didn't get the ball that much.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, he had 3.6 yards a carry. He got a lot of carries against Cincinnati, but like 9 for 12 against Baltimore. Against the Browns. 9 carries for 12 yards. 13 yesterday for 21. It's just, I think the thing with David is I'm not going to panic at all about it. I think it's just a bad match. He's a matchup running back. That's what I like to call those type of backs. Like, there's 2 types of backs. There's backs like Jahmyr Gibbs, where it doesn't fucking matter who you play. He's just going to have a massive game typically, or he'll have a pretty good game. Those are like the top tier elite running backs. I think David is a good running back, but he's someone that I think sometimes, man, it just depends on the matchup with him. Like the Browns, they're good with kind of the Monty type of backs. He struggled. Or the Bucks, good. It's a bad matchup for him. He struggles. That's kind of like he's in that like a matchup dependent tier, which is fine. He's still a good back, but like that's why I'm not going to overreact, because it's like I don't expect David every week to just be this explosive, put up a bunch of yards guy. Like it's okay. He just didn't have a great week. I think moving on, you'll see some games where you're like, okay, there's Montgomery. You're not.
Do you think there's a world though, like with DeMont, where it's just like they need to figure out, the right times to use him?
To use him, maybe. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because I do think, like, I don't know. Because maybe not, because they did kind of do that every other possession thing the other day. But it's kind of weird. Like, you go back and watch some of the runs, and it's like offensive line right away when DeMont was out there a couple times, just got blown up, and there's a defender in his face in a second, right? And DeMont's always been good at breaking tackles. He's been one of the better running backs in the NFL at breaking tackles. But then you see, like, with Jahmyr Gibbs, like, there was a couple plays with Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't know if you saw, like, I saw, like, the back end of it to where the offensive line just, like, dominated for Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jahmyr Gibbs just had wide open holes. But it was like DeMont didn't at times. So I'm just like, why is it different? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, I saw clips of both. I saw film on both, and I was just like, there were just times where Jahmyr just had massive holes to run through. Like there was the one, the double team of Tate and Panay just opening up like the biggest hole of all time, and Jameer just takes off. But then it's like D-Mine, it's like 0.2 seconds. There's 2 defenders in the backfield, and you're like, how did this just happen? Why? How is this happening with D-Mine and not Jameer? I don't know. It's weird.
They just don't want to block.
Maybe it's a different. Maybe honestly, you know what it could be? Maybe with D-Mine in the game, they're like they're running it. Like and defensively, they're like, we're prepared.
Yeah, they know. Oh well, maybe because Jameer, he's a threat catching the ball too, which is fair. But I don't know. I think it's just comes down to, I think, just bad matchup for him. I'm not, we talked about, we know what we saw. This is where like beat writers, I've learned a lot, just kind of seeing what they go through, where they'll say, it's like the Terry Arnold stuff where people are like, calling him ass and stuff. And the beat writers are like, I know what I saw. Like they report he's been good all
We were there.
We know what we saw with Dave Montgomery. He looks faster. He looks in the shape.
Dude.
So I'm not going to sit here and be like, is there a problem with David? Like, is he bad all of a sudden? No, I just think it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
Yeah, I think you're going to see games this year with D-Mont. I mean, D-Mont's still going to end up with like 800 yards, right?
He's like a boom or bust kind of guy. I know it sounds like that's kind of D-Mont sometimes.
I don't want to call him that. Did you see him on the Amon Ra podcast, the St. Brown podcast?
But
he was like, there was the clip. There was the part of where they were like asking, EQ was like being like, you're considered like a bully ball back, and D-Mont's like, no, don't call me that. I'm a running back. Like I do everything, and like he was like actually genuinely like mad.
He can.
He was like genuinely mad. He was like, I can get someone in open field, and I'm gonna you. Like he was like, I might not have Jameer's speed, but I'm not just a. He was like, I'm not just a big back. He's like, I could do everything, and he was like genuinely mad. The clip is crazy. It's hilarious. I thought D-Mon was about to hang the phone up. He was like, stop calling me that. So that's why I don't want to call him like hey, I'm not out here calling him like a dependent back or a guy that's like matchup wise. But
I mean, I just think he's different from. It's just different from like.
Hey, you can do it, D-Mon. If you're what? Not me. This is him. It's him saying it, not me.
I'm just if he was
you're
like
a back, D-Mon.
If he's like Jeff, why would you say something like that? I'd be like, well, D-Mon, I mean, based on the data, you're either having a massive game or you're not really having a great game.
He's a running back.
Not saying he has to have a great game every game, but Jahmyr Gibbs, pretty much, you know what you're getting game to game. I mean, Jahmyr might have a bad game here or there, but he'd even.
I'm not saying it, D-Mon. Not me. It's this guy.
All right, let's get to our. We got our top 10 teams to get to as well. So
forgot about that.
Yeah, we have our top 10 NFL teams for Top 10 Tuesday. So we'll see where the Lions rank on this list. Do you want to go first? Or want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right, I'll set the tone. Booner. These are my top 10 teams. Just take a minute. Really understand.
What did you have last week?
It was a similar top 6, 7. I did this.
I'm interested if you're consistent because you did say you moved teams up and down.
Yeah, the team that I did move into this is where you can get me. I'll give you this. Packers are a top 10 team. All right.
You didn't have them last year last week?
No, I did not. Okay, hand up. Hey, if I tell you I'm off, I'm off.
I'm going to pull yours up from last week. I just got to make sure I'm holding you accountable.
Yeah.
You told me I always have to hold you accountable, right?
Yes.
Okay, you can go over this. I'm pulling up yours last week to make sure you're held accountable.
So the Patriots are at 10. I think they're a good team. I didn't know what to do with them because they beat up on a bad team. So I didn't really know that. Those are always tough for me personally. I think the Seahawks deserve it. They beat on the Texans, and the Texans aren't great, but they're better than the matchup the Patriots had. So I think the Seahawks are playing some really good football. Sam Darnold seems to be and I don't want to say resurged because he had a better year last year, but you get what I'm saying. He seems to be like a pretty good quarterback for them. They obviously like Sam Darnold. JSN's balling. So the Seahawks and the Patriots coming at my 9 and 10 spot. I jumped the Packers in here, and I know what people are going to say, Jeff, what made you jump them in here? They didn't even have a massive win or anything. Guys, let's be real. I might have fucked up last week. I think they should have been in the top 10. All right, they should have been in the top 10, and they have a tie. But it's better than having a loss. They're 4-1-1. It is.
I'm not talking about that. I just saw your top 10 from last week.
At number 7, I have the Bills. They're on a
Yeah,
bye week.
that pause is so good, dude. I
The
love it.
Bills are on a bye week, but I don't know. I think the Bills ultimately will be fine. I just want to see a good stretch of Bills football going forward. I think with Josh Allen, you're going to be a contender. But I just think overall, they're not a good rushing defense. They got some concerns in Buffalo there. It's the wide receiver course, it's not really been impressive. Josh Allen's going to be Superman again if they're going to do anything. That bottom line. I mean, they're just not. They got more to show me personally before I put the Bills like higher than the Chiefs, for example. I think the Chiefs are moving up on my list, or at least staying in the top 6 on my list. They should. I just don't want to give the Chiefs that top 3 to 4 spot yet because I just want to see more wins in that.
Can I be honest with you? This is where I do have a problem with you right now.
Okay.
You had the Chiefs at 4 last week. The Chiefs won like 35-0. So
Against
you're
who?
like, it doesn't matter who. You said you don't want to give them that 3 to 4 spot yet. You gave it to them last week, though.
You're telling
And now
me
you dropped them
Hold
2
on.
spots
Hold
after
on.
blowing a
Hold on.
NFL team out by 30 points. They gave up 0 points. That
Hold on.
defense gave up 0 points.
Hold
And
on.
you dropped them outside.
Hold on.
I'm just saying, it's weird.
The reason why I dropped them is who'd the Rams just beat? 35.
I get what you're saying, but they won 31-0, and you already had them in the.
The Rams.
Your
gave up
comment was you
one
can't have them in the
touchdown.
top 3 or 4 yet.
The Rams-
When last week you
The
did,
Raiders are the town bicycle. Everyone's riding it.
I think the
all right?
Rams are fine, but either
right.
way, though, like
Everyone's riding
the Eagles almost lose every single week.
But they're
like
5-2.
Who can we're talking about like the better team, the best team. The Chiefs right now look like the best team, like one of the best teams in football.
They do. They do.
Rasheed Rice back, like they're incredible, and their defense literally held a team, shut a team out.
They
How hard that is in the NFL.
Jags. They lost to the Jags 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago with no Rasheed Rice.
But
And then-
hold on, Booner.
You're the one that tells me it's week by week. You move. Now you're changing 2 weeks ago.
No, I think you got to factor in record. Is record ever allowed? Or
come
are we
on,
putting in like
Jeff.
under 500 teams now if they look good? I mean, what are we doing?
I'm not
I mean-
actually. I'm not arguing this with you anymore because I think you just made a mistake, which is fine.
No,
It's
I did
completely
not.
understandable.
The reason why I have the
You
Chiefs
moved
at
them down
6
to
and the
31-0.
Rams higher. I didn't even get to explain why I have the Rams higher. You just were yelling at me about the Chiefs. The reason why I have the Rams higher is because they beat a better team in a dominant fashion. They beat the Jags 35-7. The Jags are better than the Raiders, yes or no? Without Puka. And your excuse is they don't have Rasheed Rice. They didn't have Puka. And they blew out the Jags. Who were just
Fine.
better.
They're a good team. The Chiefs right
And
now
then
are a better
the
team.
Bucks, I didn't want to move down too much because the Bucks to me are trending down. Chiefs are trending up, but the Bucks are at number 1. I gotta be. I don't want to move. Like I told you, week to week, you're kind of sliding. I didn't want to slide them to 6. I think the Bucks got to be in your top 5. I mean, they lost to the number 1 team in the NFL. I get they lost by 2 scores, but I mean, it's like the Lions. Like
You're like I didn't really want to slide the Bucks too much, but I'll slide the Chiefs for winning 31-0. Like
Well,
that's ridiculous,
because who's
dude.
above them? The Colts are 6-1. You have the Eagles who keep winning. They're 5-2. They recovered from their losing.
Like the Eagles are not better than the Chiefs right now. Like move the Eagles down. What are we talking about? The Eagles had 2 losses in a row and almost lost to the Vikings.
The Chiefs.
They almost had 3 straight losses. They're not close to the Chiefs.
The Chiefs just got above 500, and guess who won
Who
head to head?
cares? It's
Guess who
who's the
won
better team
head-to-head?
today? The Chiefs.
Head to head.
I don't care. How many weeks ago was that?
Oh,
Exactly. We talked about that earlier in the show.
But hold on, you have to factor in the Eagles beat them head to
It's a
head.
different Chiefs team now and it's a different Eagles team.
You factor in
It's
the
different teams now. So if you're going to use that, Jeff, for weeks ago, then you got to use this. Then it's all encompassing with the Lions and the Packers. That's my point on it changes. It doesn't matter what they did 4 weeks ago. This Chiefs team is way better than the Eagles right now. If they played tomorrow, this Chiefs team would beat them by 2 touchdowns.
Well, luckily, they did play them and they lost
Weeks ago. And then, all right, then I want you to move the Lions or the Packers above the Lions. Then, if you're going to stick with that, be consistent because your list is fully inconsistent.
It's head to head. It's record, which
dude, get out of here.
Right? Record matters.
Get out of here.
So record doesn't matter.
Let's just throw mine up because I want to do mailbag. Like I'll take a couple
I haven't
minutes.
even gotten to my teams. I mean, your guys just yelling at me about the Chiefs. 5, I have the Tampa Bay Bucks. Like I said, you can't slide them too much.
Okay.
Down. The Rams look like one of the best teams in football. And then they're 5-2, by the way. Bucks are 5-2. Eagles are 5-2. Colts are 6-1. Lions are 5-2. Those are the top teams. Okay, they're winning. They're winning games. So give me those teams.
By the way, too, people in the chat, like our job's to yell at each other about rankings. I know it's Jeff's rankings. I have a problem with it. Our job is to talk and yell about it.
Yeah, no, I want you to yell at me. I do.
Yeah, I mean, you yell at me for mine. I don't care. I just hate these people who are like, why are you? It's his power rankings. Why are you? That's our job. Pete Prisco, Jeff Iafrate. Hey, you and Pete Prisco should go have dinner together on Friday night, or who's that Bucky guy?
Bucky Brooks.
Bucky Brooks, Bucky Brooks and Pete Prisco,
hey,
we go have a nice breakfast together on Sunday morning.
Ooh, I would like that.
The three losers. Jeez, dude. Unbelievable. All right, I had the Packers at number 10. Interest. Hey, listen, Packers, they've been on my list. They've been at the back end of my list. Just want to see more. I still think I'm with you, Jeff. A little bit of a fraud watch is what's happening. Number 9, Seahawks look incredible. They look good. They deserve to be in the top 10. I don't know if I had them last week, but I threw them in here. I think I swapped them out for the Steelers for this week. I'm going to go quick through this, Jeff. I'm not going to take as long as you do over there.
Well,
and your let me glaze the Rams. Number 8, the Patriots. Patriots look good. 5-2. Drake May, obviously Super Bowl or MVP candidate right now, top 3. They beat the Titans. I thought it was going to be a closer game. Obviously, it wasn't the greatest team that they played, but they got the job done. They should be here. I kept them around the same as last week. Number 7, the Rams. Listen, Jeff, I had them outside of my top 10 last week, and it's a week-by-week thing for me, and I had the Jags in my top 10, and they beat the Jags, and I'm like, okay, I'll switch it. I'll give them the Rams, and then the Jags are out.
The Jags out.
They did. That's why I had them at 7. They were out. They were at 11 or 12. They moved up 5 spots in my rankings. 5 spots. That's a big movement. And obviously the Jags
at the time when they were outside of the top 10, they were 4-2.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Who cares? There's a lot. There was 13 teams that had 2 losses last week. I had to rank them how I felt. Number 6, the Bucks. I had the Bucks at 1. I moved them down. That loss, tough loss. Obviously this week, I go off of week by week, right? Right now, with the injuries that they have and everything that they have, I think obviously if they played a lot of these teams in front of them, they probably would lose. Number 5, the Buffalo Bills. Bye week, kept them around the same, to be honest. I just kept them there. 4, I had the Eagles. I don't think I can move the Eagles into my top. They can keep winning. I still think like they're 4-7 right now. The Eagles are, and it's just they have back-to-back losses. They keep sneaking by, figuring this thing out. The offense finally looked decent, but at the end of the day, I still think there's issues with this Eagles team, but they are a good football. They just have very good players. I think that's what's keeping them in my top 5. Number 3, 5-2 or 6-1. Sorry, it's 6-1, right?
Yeah,
the 6-1 Indianapolis Colts. People could be like, well, they have the best record. They should be 1. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Lions are better than them. Like they would beat them if they played. What about the head-to-head, though?
What about the head-to-head? They just played last week.
Who?
Chiefs and Lions. What about that? They played last week head-to-head. What happened?
I told you this. Head-to-head is a week-by-week basis. It is a week-by-week basis. I told you this at the Rams,
like, how many weeks ago was that? This was last week. They lost.
Exactly. It's a week-by-week basis. My head-to-head, if they played this week and the Chiefs beat them, I would put the Chiefs above them. They didn't play, though, this week. And I think right now the Lions, they beat my number 1 team last year. Last week, who was my number 1 team in the power rankings last week for me? Say it.
The Bucks.
Okay. Who the Lions were number 3 in my power rankings. Who did the Lions beat this week?
The Bucks.
And where were they ranked again? Just want you to say it one more time.
All the way down to 6 from 1.
No, I'm not talking the Bucks right now. We're talking Lions. But the Lions beat who? And where were the Bucks ranked?
Number 1.
They beat the number 1 team, and they were the number 3 team. So I think if you're the 3rd team and you beat the number 1 team, you are right now, in my opinion, the best team in football. The Chiefs, incredible. Chiefs are incredible, but I think a week-by-week thing, right? Power rankings, week by week. Lions got the better win this week. Chiefs, 31-0, incredible. Incredible. But at the end of the day, better win. They beat the number 1 team in my power rankings, so that's just the better win. So I go Lions at 1. So
it's fair.
And really, I dropped the Bucks because they lost. So like I think the Colts 6-1 deserve to be above the Bucks. Only 1 loss, and then the Eagles, they just found a way to they got the job done. So, and then the Bills,
You're
bye
holding
week.
on to the Bills, man. They're freaking. They don't look great.
It was a bye week. They didn't play. What are you talking about? They don't look great. They didn't play.
Week, dude. I'm saying before.
Yeah, one bad week.
2 bad weeks.
They lose 2 straight?
I don't know about they've looked like
but they
shit.
won. Yeah.
Okay. Against the Saints, they looked like shit.
Okay, but they still won.
I thought the Chiefs blowing out the Raiders matter.
That's why they're number 2 on my team. You have them at 6. It's ridiculous.
They're trending up.
No, they're not. They're trending down to you. You drop them from 4 to 6. Honestly, Jeff. Honestly, this is me not trying to be like a dick or anything. Like nothing. This is me just being completely honest. And I think you know it in the back of your head. You dropping the Chiefs from 4 to 6 is nuts.
It's because of context of the other teams. Rams. The Rams are better than the Chiefs right now.
There's literally, dude. The Chiefs are a
better.
top 5 team in the NFL right now.
The Rams are better.
No, they're not.
They look better. They do.
No, they don't. The Chiefs, dude. Did you watch it? The Chiefs look so good.
Booner, do you know how stupid that argument sounds, though?
All right, I can't do this. Let's just get to mailbag.
They blew out in the same.
They're gonna give me an aneurysm. I don't feel like dying today. I feel like staying alive one more day.
Though? Like the Rams, if your argument would be fair if they won by 3 against the Jags. They won 35-7 without Puka.
Mailbag.
Jags. Raiders.
Mailbag.
Jags. Raiders.
Mailbag.
Jags. That's like a beat.
Yeah, but 31-0 is nuts,
35-7. That's nuts.
0. They didn't shut them out. And by the way, too, I'll say this with the Rams. Like, you can give credit to that defense, bro. That did you watch that game? That Jags game?
I don't care what it had.
Dude, they were in the red zone. Dude, if they just kicked field goals the whole game, it would have been 35-27.
5 of them tangs.
Yeah, good for him. That's why he's in my top 5. That's why they're in my top 5 or my top 6 or whatever.
Travis Clark says, mailbag. By the way, get your mailbag questions. Get them ready. Travis Clark, where do you guys rank the D-line? Rank D-lines in the NFL or the Lions D-line? Maybe the
Lions D-line. Probably top 5. Incredible.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair thought.
Steve says, do you guys know what you're doing or thinking? No. No, we actually don't at all, Steve. I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. We just stumbled upon a microphone, Steve. Appreciate you for watching. We don't know what the hell we're doing. No, I mean, come on. I don't know what you mean, Steve. You have to bring it up. Like, what do you disagree with? You know, what do you disagree with? What do you disagree
Jeff,
with?
you know?
Phil, mailbag. Why are you so angry, Boone? You're never happy anymore. Oh, I got deep, huh?
Wow. Phil, I'm always happy, dude.
I feel like Boone's always happy. He was just happy on the stream screaming and yelling yesterday.
Yeah, I think people misinterpret me yelling like for the show where I'm not like happy. There's probably been moments over the last year where I have actually not been happy, but I don't think it's been like I don't understand why. Can I ask you a question? I don't understand why people like when we yell on shows and like have like debate and go at it, like people like make it out to be such a big deal.
What you
they're like, why are you yelling? Stop yelling. Like what? Like so confused. Why does that matter?
I mean, you have to people. If you are with your friends talking sports, you have yelled at your friends before. I mean,
the chat takes it, and I love the chat. They just take it so like sometimes like Booner, it's his list. Stop. It's like, dude, what do you? And I used to like months ago, like 4 or 5 months ago. You knew this. Like I had to stop looking at the chat because the chat was just so negative about things. The worst. It was just, and I love you guys in the chat, but like there was just like a time period where it was just like, dude, like I could say anything, and the chat was like, "Why is Booner saying this? Why is Booner mad? Why is Booner?"
Well, to be fair, you had your battles with the chat. You went at the chat. You
for sure, but it was because, the reason I did was because it was like everything I would say. It was just like
you've had your
criticizing, and it was just like, dude, stop! Like we're doing this is fun. This is supposed to be fun.
Anakin Mailbag, what are your guys' bye week plans?
Sunday or Pistons game, and actually we got to figure that out. And I'm actually supposed to have a family birthday on Sunday, which I forgot, so I have to communicate that and figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, relatively chill for the weekend. I mean, we don't have the Pistons game, but I honestly just want to enjoy like some quiet time because these weekends get very hectic for the rest of the year for sure. I mean, they have been hectic, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing really special to be honest with you, Anakin. Just chilling.
No, I actually work Saturday, like 7 hours on Saturday. So there's no bye week for me. I kind of weekend off. I work Saturday.
Like Getaboy wants his mailbag watch party for MSU versus U of M Saturday. Probably not, to be honest.
I work. The game's actually at night. It's actually a 7:00 game, so maybe we could, but probably just take a. If it was in Ann Arbor, honestly, I probably would get off work and go to Ann Arbor.
What do you think? What do you think of that game, huh? Does you smell any fear? Any fear?
No, to be honest, no, none.
Not 1 ounce of fear.
I'm not worried, to be honestly.
I can't wait to John tomorrow. That's going to be a good one. Weezy D, Mailbag, has Jalen Hurts taught Booner ball yet, or is class still in session?
Jalen Hurts, I've said it a million times. Jalen Hurts is just a pro at like.
That is the funniest comment I've ever seen.
Having 300-yard games every 4 weeks and people being like MVP again, or no, like he can play, and then he has like 3 down weeks, and then he'll be like, and then as soon as people start to jump off his bandwagon, he'll go off again. I think the Eagles are going to fall apart, dude.
Yeah, well, saying it out loud more often does not make it more true. I'm just
saying for me.
Yeah, this guy just keeps saying the Eagles are going to.
They should have lost to the Vikings. If the Vikings had a competent quarterback, they would have lost.
Well, if my grandma had wheels.
But again, they just. I mean, they only won by 1 possession, and he had to throw for 300.
Which, by the way, I will say, Jalen Hurts has been playing really well.
Yeah, he had 1 good game.
No, he's been duty. I mean, he's like top 10 in some categories, which by the way, we talk about. That's important for him.
Is he though?
Yeah, he's top 10 in passing touchdowns. He's 12th.
What do you say? Well, he had 300 yards last week for 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, which I'll say that's a decent game. It's a good game. Not decent. That's a good game. The week before, he lost to New York. He threw for 280 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception, and ran for 13 yards. That's not a good. It's not a good game. And then the week before, they lost again, and he threw for 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, and ran for 3 yards.
Well, we're talking
not a good game.
I know.
What are you talking about? He's been playing well recently. No, he hasn't.
He has. No, he actually has.
When?
We're talking about almost a 70% completion percentage. He's top 10.
Okay, but they lost 2 of the last 3 because of him.
Okay, so QB wins. You're a QB wins guy.
Yes, but he wasn't the reason. He wasn't the reason. Well, they lost 2 games. So if you're saying he's been playing well recently, and you're saying QB wins as it counts, they've lost 2 of the last 3. So I don't know what you're saying. He's been playing good recently.
No,
they've lost 2 of their last 3 games.
This year, he's 12th in passing yards, 10th in passing touchdowns, and 8th in QBR.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, no, he's outside the top 10 in the categories he's supposed to be good in.
No, he's 10th.
10th, yeah, and 12th in yards.
And 12th in yards.
I don't care about QBR, by the way. I'm so far out of QBR. I've made that very known all year long.
For people that care about quarterback rating, I think
I do not care.
Okay.
Josh Allen had like one of the greatest 4th quarters of all time, and he had like the worst QBR because they didn't count it because they were losing the game, so it didn't count towards his. It was like ridiculous.
Let's see. T says Mailbag. How do you think the division pans out in the end? Still, as I predicted, Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. Let's hear Booners. Your thoughts.
The division? Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings.
So it changes. So the Vikings are last. Can we give some? As of right now,
I had the Vikings last as well. I had them last as well.
But did I tell you they'd miss the playoffs?
Yeah, I said that they would as well.
No, you didn't. You sicko. You yelled. You were Jeff. This team with Kelvin Sheppard not going to make the playoffs. I don't care what they got quarterback. Damn. They're on track to miss the fucking playoffs, bro. Watch them.
I will give credit where it's due. The Bears do. They have been the fact that they're 4-2 or what are they 4-2? I think
4-2. Yeah, they won 4 straight.
It's incredible. Good for them, dude. That's not sarcastic either. That's being dead serious.
Play that well last week though. I don't know what's going on with it. Their defense play. Dennis Allen's been fucking locking in. I don't know what's going on with that. That Vikings team. I think the Bears. I had them at 9 wins, 9-8. So we'll see what happens. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get one more question mailbag before we get to the end of the show here. Tafka says this season does seem more like the 2 seasons ago for the Eagles, where they fell apart down the stretch. Doesn't feel like the Eagles last season. That's fair. I'm not arguing the Eagles.
And I will. Can I say this as well with the Eagles? Yeah. I don't. And this isn't like obviously we don't cover the Eagles, so we don't get to see the ins and outs. And there are people who are more in tune and in touch with what's going on there. From what I've heard and what I've listened to and read online, it seems like there's more of an issue than what you're portraying or what people actually think. with this
No,
Eagles
I
team.
think
where
there's
they think
issues.
there's-
I don't want to. I don't want to make that my argument, Boone. I don't want to say there's no issues. I don't want to do that.
That's why I'm always saying I'm mentioning the Eagles in these conversations is because it's not me just making it up. It's
No, I don't think you're making.
there's actually reports out there that are saying like, hey, things inside the locker room
No,
and inside that
agree.
building are not good. And like I heard Diana Rossini like even mention, she was like, no matter even if they win, she said her before this last Sunday. She had said, like, even if they win versus the Vikings, she was like, that doesn't mean things are just all of a sudden good again. Like
No.
she mentioned, she was like, this is not, she said her sources, it's not good what's happening in the Eagles building right now.
I think it's
and that's from
Lions,
top down.
Rams, Rams NFC Championship game. I think the Eagles get bounced. I think they're they got things they got to figure out. They might need a new OC already, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
And they got to trade AJ Brown. They got to trade him. It's over.
The problem with that, though, it's like, and I was listening to part of my take, and they were talking about it, like the contract with him.
It's
If they trade him, like they're going to have to like take on a lot of dead cap, which hurts them like bad. And it's not like a little bit; it's like a massive amount over the next 2 years. So obviously, if there's an issue in the locker room, you're better off just taking the money and taking the hit. But it does hurt, though. It does hurt.
By the way, last question, Shift got mailbag. What's more likely, Brad trades for a corner or Brad trades for a defensive end? Defensive end. Because I think when the corners get healthy, they have enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually with you on that, especially with what you saw yesterday. I think it's going to be edge rusher and tackle, offensive tackle. That's my prediction.
There you go. We'll see you guys tomorrow. DOC's joining us down Macaroon. So be there, 8:45. Chop it up with the fellas. We'll get to talk to them. But until then, I will catch you all.
Pistons tomorrow.